for continuing to provide and connect with the students and learners that are coming out of that institution. In addition to that, we've also identified the Ascension Chamber. Their goal is to really ensure the economic vitality of this region and of this parish. And so as we continue to look to the future and think about plans for this expansion, they are certainly a hand-in-hand partner in this work and ensuring that there's the workforce and also the support for the expansion. Some of the other organizations here that have been identified as potential partners as we're looking to the future is Hire Heroes, which focuses on employment opportunities for our veterans as they're leaving their military service and returning back to their communities. This is a really important one in making sure that they're appropriately upskilled and placed in opportunities to have good paying jobs and also longer term careers that we've continued to mention that Innophos will be continuing to provide and also expand. Grid Alternatives focuses on green energy and green collar jobs and expansion of opportunities for those, as does Solar Steward. So as we're thinking about the expansion of EV, batteries, green energy, and energy independence, frankly, these are organizations that are already in the weeds, already working with many communities. And so we see them as real natural partnerships for this work and for the expansion. Kaboom is one that you may or may not be familiar with. They actually invest in infrastructure for children's playgrounds. And so as we think about how to invest and give back to the community in a very tangible way, one of the most easy ways of doing that is investing in the infrastructure that's going to benefit our children, right? Nobody here is going to raise their hand and say, no, I don't want kids to have a new playground. Or rather, I've never met somebody who was willing to put their hand up in a conversation to say that they didn't want kids to have a new playground. So as we think about opportunities to invest in the community, that is a really clear partnership of like investing and providing opportunities for kids to have a safe place to grow, learn, and play. And then finally, the LIFT Fund. So this is that opportunity and access to capital that I mentioned before. This is one of the vehicles for providing low barrier access to capital for local businesses as they think about how to get to that next level or accelerate their business offerings. So again, I mentioned these are some of the partnerships that are in work. At this point, I want to switch the conversation. Y'all have been hearing me talk for maybe a little bit too long this afternoon, and I know that you've gotten a chance to settle back down into your groups. But at this point, I would like to hear from you. So as we look to the future, I'd love to hear your questions. Do you have questions about what this project will entail? As you think about the information that's been shared or think about the questions that you might have about the implications for Ascension. And then also, are there other community benefits that you would like to see? Are there things that Innophos can and should be investing in as you think about the needs of Ascension Parish, as you think about ways that that partnership can be strengthened? So we're going to go ahead and do this, just kind of open mic, kind of popcorn style. So if you have a comment, a question, an idea, it's very casual. Please feel free to stick your hand up and feel free to state your question, and I'll repeat it just so it's captured via the mic. Yeah.
So I work with a nonprofit, and we help with workforce development, education, and staffing. What do y'all need in that aspect? And with that, do y'all also allow second chance hiring, those that may have felony or coming out of incarceration?
Yep. So the question was from a gentleman from a workforce development organization, and his question was related to where there are needs or potential for additional partnerships and whether Innophos focuses and provides opportunities for second chance hiring. So I'm actually going to turn it over to some of the folks from the organization to answer that one.
Yeah, current hiring needs, we're currently in need of operators, maintenance mechanics, specialized maintenance mechanics, I&E. We're constantly having to replace. We don't have a ton of turnover because of the great plant that we have. But I mean, yeah, we're always looking for talent for sure.
And positions aren't posted, our current positions aside from the project posted on our website. So, even aside from the project, there's, always an interest in diversifying our applicant pool. So certainly we'd be interested in, partnering with some folks in this room who spoke about opportunities to partner together even for current operations in addition to the expansion project. And I think your last question was with respect to folks who
second chance hiring.
So we do. We are open to having an applicant pool that's diverse in terms of backgrounds. So certainly we are always amenable to trying to diversify our applicant pool and make sure we have a applicant pool that represents the community in which we operate.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, back there.
If you go back a slide, I realized that what you had listed there was things that you're aware of. You have a lot of good things listed on that slide. There are local, they're in the room here. ARC is in the room, Volunteer Ascension is in the room, Lifehouse. These are all nonprofits. I also would love to see River Parish Community College up there. That's things that you guys would consider, part of whatever you're doing with workforce development, however you want to partner with folks. Also, our school system. We have, I think, the best public school system in Louisiana, if not the regional South area, maybe the nation. So, and there's a lot of workforce development that goes on there that certainly folks like you guys investing in and makes it better for the community. Whether you actually hire these individuals or not, you want to make sure that that training is going on locally, right? Mm-hmm. So I would like to add some of those to the list that are in the room here today. If I missed anybody, you let me know.
Yep. And we are taking notes on this, so please, I love that ideation. Thank you so much for kind of getting us started there. I think I saw a hand over at this table.
I'm Sherry Dennick with Volunteer Ascension, and I know you guys are probably going to be looking for volunteer opportunities within the parish.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we do that. In fact, we have something coming up tomorrow for 20 Shell employees, and we found a volunteer opportunity for them in Ascension. So we're more than happy to help you guys with that.
Great. Great. And I'm sorry, I'm neglecting my duty. I'm supposed to be repeating the comment so it's picked up on the screen. So the comment there was from Volunteer Ascension that there are ample opportunities for volunteering, and so that's really an opportunity to think about how to allow opportunities. Let me see if I can say the word opportunity another time in that sentence. For Innophos employees to get a chance to invest directly with their service in the community of Ascension. Yes, ma'am.
And I had mentioned River Parish Community College as well, but one other university in the state that it's not as close, and I love LSU, but Louisiana Tech has a very, very top tier accredited engineering school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's my main alma mater, so huge LSU person too, but Louisiana Tech would be a great partner organization. If y'all don't know who to get in contact there, I'm very connected to them. And they just got a new president, also an engineer, and he would love to have those students have more opportunity here, because North Louisiana, it doesn't have as much opportunity, so a lot of those students are going to Houston and Dallas and places like that, and all of us are trying to keep our talent home. So that would be a great university to partner with.
Yep.
We do actively recruit from
Oh, good.
down
Okay.
here,
Awesome.
Yep. Okay.
LSU, Southeastern, Lafayette, Louisiana Tech. We do river parishes, we do fire operators, and that's kind of the main pipeline from there. We can absolutely add to that. Yeah.
Great. Other questions or ideas as you, again, look at some of the benefits that we provided earlier, and then also think about partner organizations for the future? Yes.
Under the umbrella of Ascension Chamber of Commerce, there is a little committee whose whole purpose is trying to keep young talent in Ascension Parish. That's called the Young Ascension Professionals. And I'd love to get you guys in contact with them if that's something, because it does sound like that's kind of your goal, is to recruit young people in this area. That's exactly what their goal is, and they meet once a month. I think that would be a great resource for you guys. And I also wanted to ask, we're very blessed in Ascension Parish, so we have local water company, and we also have a local fabrication shop, and I'm a local gate company. So are you guys utilizing local businesses or in Geismar? Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
Yep. Okay. And so the comments were about an opportunity to really expand the partnerships with the Young Professionals Organization within Ascension Parish Chamber. And then the question related to that was on what the utilization plans were for local businesses within Ascension as we think about some of the nuts and bolts, quite literally, of how to think about this expansion.
That's speaking just to the subcontractors.
Yeah, I mean, we use local, what was their name again?
Secure access.
Secure Access is the fencing company that we use. They're local. Yeah, we do local as much as possible. Everybody comes from local, because if we're performances in Ascension Parish,
Airport all the way over here.
yeah, performance is our main third-party contractor, and they hire everybody from around here. So they're a big part of us. We focus on the local, for sure.
All the way down to the Burke, which is right
Burke.
near his house.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Other questions, comments? Y'all are a quiet group this afternoon.
We're just kind of starting off on this journey. We're learning as much about this as I think maybe you've learned today from us. So, all the comments and suggestions and opportunities are appreciated, because, we want to improve our outreach as much as possible. And, I'm sure there's lots of different ideas and different ways that we can be involved that we haven't yet explored. So there's also opportunities for us to get feedback in the future as well. Yes?
Just a quick question, what, on the new project, what is your time frame? I know we talked a little bit about, somebody told me y'all are kind of just now getting into the engineering phase. What's the time frame on the new project? What are you looking at there?
So you want to repeat the question?
Yep. The question was around, thank you. The question was related to the timeline. So while we discussed sort of where we're at and what the project will entail, the question was exactly a little bit more about what the expansion what folks could expect in terms of the timeline for the expansion and for the grant, I would assume.
Yeah, so, I think the total timeline for this project would be in that 3-year time frame. And if you think about it, the grant is due, the application is due in the middle of March. And then there's several months for us to get a response. And then if it's a positive response, for us to have a discussion with the DOE. In the meantime, we'll continue to, work on our design and stuff. And then really kick it off, let's say in 2020, 2024, 25, and then start operating in that 3-year time frame. So typically from the time we're able to break ground, it might take us about 18 to 24 months. And that's really around equipment availability and things like that. Staffing up though, we would start that earlier, because obviously we want to get people in. We need to train them. The advantage we have in this particular project is it's a copy of what we're operating today. So we can train people on the current process, and then the new process would be operated in the same way. So it gives us a leg up there. But we do recognize it's an area with a lot of opportunity. A lot of companies are investing here, so we'd want to start that recruiting as early as possible.
Right.
I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
If I were a nonprofit organization that could help Innophos engage in the community and be of service here, what would I do to reach out to you? How would I contact you?
Yep.
What would I need to do as the next step?
Yep. So the question, let me repeat the question. I don't want to get in trouble with the AV guys. So the question is, if you're a nonprofit or an organization in Ascension and you're interested in starting that conversation about a partnership, how do you go about reaching out? What does that process look like?
First of all, you can go through our internet, innophos.com. There's a contact portal that way. We can also hand out some business. I don't have my business cards with me, but contact Angel, myself, and we'll get you started.
Also, the main email contact for Innophos is info@innophos.com. That is the main portal that goes into our corporate office, and then whatever's related to the Geismar plant would be filtered to us. It goes directly to us. So that's probably the easiest way to do it, or just contact one of us directly.
We also have on our website, we created a landing page for this project specifically, which we'll continue to update with information specific to the project. So there'll be periodic updates coming.
And the landing page is just referencing the electric vehicle.
Yeah,
project?
it'll reference the Geismar
Okay.
expansion project. Yep.
Great question.
Yep. Any other yes. Yes, ma'am.
Are you guys familiar with the community advisory panel called CAP that meets once a quarter? It's industry. It's a great opportunity. It's where industry sits down with the community and has conversations
Yep. And the comment was about the community advisory panel. I'm sorry, I know it's like there's an echo in this room. The community advisory panel, which is an organization that brings together industry and the community just to have the conversations exactly like this one and more. And so we will be put in touch with that and be able to engage. Yep.
I would say locally, Angel, David, these are excellent contacts. You know, after you leave this room, if you have another question, I think they're easy enough to find and be happy to speak with anyone. In particular, you know, how we can be more engaged with the community, and ideas and suggestions like that I think are important.
Celebrity, so everybody knows him.
Oh,
Number 4.
Excellent. Great. Great. Any other closing comments, ideas, questions? Well, thank you again for taking the time to be here. We've so appreciated getting to spend a little bit of time with you this afternoon to share about the project, to hear from you about what the future will look like. And again, this is very much the start of the conversation. So if you have additional ideas, thoughts, recommendations, questions, please know that this is just the starting point to what we anticipate being hopefully a very long-term conversation and partnership. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you again for being here. We appreciate your time.